Alright guys, we are here today with the 2022 Rivian R1T. Now this is a kind of a mid-size to full-size truck, so it's designed to fit in between the Ford Ranger and the Ford F-150. So it's that kind of size ute. I did say truck earlier. Yes, I know I'm Australian. Yes, I know that all of you guys are going to comment on it, but we are in the land of the free. We are in America, so I've got to speak the local lingo. Otherwise, they kick you out. So that's why I'm probably going to switch between calling it a truck, ute, and probably even pick up along the way. Now this is the launch edition, so it has a few extras. So it's been optioned with the off-road pack, which is why it's got the front recovery hitches. It's had the option package of a few other things around it, so we will talk about those as we go around the car. But starting at the front, this is a beautiful design and a fantastic car. From a performance point, it is insane in terms of the output figures. So you are looking at 622 kilowatts, up to 622 kilowatts depending on the battery combination that you have, and up to a whopping 1250 Newton meters of torque for this car. The launch edition is a quad motor, so there's a motor on each of the wheels. That allows it to do some pretty neat things like tank turn, which we'll go through on our ridden review on our website. Basically, it allows it to turn the other three electric motors on, and it will pivot itself, basically turning on a dime, which is fantastic. For those of you that don't know what a dime is, it's just another coin. So starting from the front, this design is pretty polarizing. Until you get in front of it in the flesh, it actually kind of looks a lot cooler and a lot less bold and intense once you are in the flesh with this. When I saw it on photos, when I saw it on everything else, I was 50-50 on whether I liked it. In the flesh, I actually really like it, and it stands out from the rest, which is brilliant. The key system here is actually a carabiner style key. There's, debate is out on whether it's the best way to design a key. It is easier to drop, and the other part to it is there's no way to lock that carabiner in. It's just relying on it to be spring-loaded, so it is easy for your other keys to fall off if you had it that way. But outside of that, it does speak to the adventure side of what this car is. For those that haven't gone for the launch edition, which is completely sold out, you can have a look at either the standard essentials model, or you can have an adventure pack. I would recommend going the adventure pack. Jump on Rivian's website to see the full extent of exactly what that offers, but it's probably the best value for money and the most applicable in how you're probably going to use your truck. So starting at the front, when you turn the car on and off, you get this little chirp. The light bar in the front lights up. You get these beautiful LED daytime running lights surrounding the headlights, and there's all these little attention to details around the car. So you get Rivian on there, and then you get the Rivian logo. As you can tell, it gets really loud with the fan noise the minute it turns on, even if it's not a hot day, and even if it's not been driven around all day. It's the one criticism I have of this car so far from the outside. One of the neat features with the Rivian R1T, and apologies for the fan that's still going crazy in the background, is that because it's all electric and all the batteries lay underneath the car, there's no need to have an engine. So you just double click this and it lifts the frunk. And what that allows you to do is then come through here, and it will allow you to store anything that you need, and all your charging cables, any other apparatus, you can just chuck into here so that that's all neatly stored away. And you even have all your charging cables, as well as your gear lock and gear buddy system as well. So that's fantastic in how that's been designed. Super practical and convenient if you're going to the shops, if you're going to buy groceries, chuck them into the frunk and you're good to go. All right, one final thing before we move around to the side of the car. There is a camera system that's located right here, and some front parking sensors across the front. What's really neat with the Rivian is it actually has a all-round camera system. So as we go around the rest of the car, I'll point out the cameras. They're not traditional 360 cameras. There's actually a multitude of cameras in very convenient places, especially if you were going off-road. So come around through to the side. Charging the car is pretty simple. The port is here. You run your finger along this, pops open, and you do have a dual charging system. So it will support the CHAdeMO and CCS charging, as well as your standard Type 2 and just your household plug. So you can charge it from a variety of different locations. However, the fastest charging is obviously using something like the Electrify America network, which is going to be about 350 kilowatt hours in terms of charging speed. So you're going to have your fastest charging speed to charge the battery on this. Range on this throughout the Rivian R1T range will go anywhere from about 320 miles to 420 to 480, depending on how much extra you want to spend on the optional battery packs. That is more than enough mileage and distance to get you basically wherever you want to go on your next adventure. And Rivian has also gone out and set out a network of fast charging locations at various national parks and locations where you would go forward driving and adventuring. Moving around to the side a bit more, we'll talk about the wheels. So this car here comes standard with 21-inch wheels. They have optioned these up with the optional 20-inch wheels. Now this is a $2,500 US option. It will give you an all-terrain 20-inch wheel and the 20-inch tire. 20-inch rim and the 20-inch tire, which is a lot more practical and a lot more sensible when it comes to off-roading. The system, the vehicle itself also has been designed to carry an onboard compressor, so you can actually pump up your tires and air them down when you're out and hitting the trails, which is really convenient. And that has been designed to reach to each of the 4 sides, so that you can, no matter where you are, you'll be able to plug that in and inflate your tires and deflate with ease. Suspension is bolstered and heavy duty, so it has been designed to tackle all the off-road locations. The great thing with Rivian is they've actually designed this car to be an off-road enthusiast car rather than to be an on-road car that happens to have off-road abilities. So there's a number of design features. Jump on their website, have a look at it in depth, and obviously on our website, on our in-depth review, we will cover a lot of those as well. Now let's move to the side. All right, talking about the camera system. So we've already mentioned that there's one on the front. There's another camera here which displays this section here, which is really handy on tracks. That section also has some aerodynamic enhancements around the tires so that the airflow hugs the body and doesn't obviously cause just too much disruption on the car from an airflow and aerodynamic point. There's another camera at the top here which shows you that section, and there's a camera over here that shows you this section. So you've got plenty of visibility and views all around on this side. As we come around to the back, I'll show you a couple of other cool features. So the gear tunnel itself, you just drop this down. As you can see, I've stored my water bottle and a couple of notes, but this system here will allow you to kind of get in and out into the tub, or if you've got anything loaded on the racks. You can then option this up with an optional slide-out kitchen, which is a $6,000 option currently, US, and that will give you things like a cooktop, a sink, as well as a potable water system, which will store enough water to wash your sink and kind of hose down a number of different things. So that's a really handy feature. It just slides straight out. Of course, being in America, if you want to store your guns in there, you're all good. And in Australia, we'll probably chuck some joeys and, I don't know, koalas in there. We'll figure it out. As we step up, I'll point out the one other camera around the back here. So there's a camera right at the top here, and this is what is your gear buddy or gear guard type camera. What that means is when you lock up and store some stuff in the back, you can actually set a gear alert, which will keep an eye on all of your gear in the back of the car, and will alert you on your phone if for whatever reason someone is trying to steal it or cut it, and it will start recording automatically so that way you know, whoever's in the back trying to steal your stuff, you can get some footage of them and hopefully they can arrest them. Now, one other thing before I get down is on the back here, you actually have this aerodynamic wing or spoiler. You do see these high mount spoilers on things like hot hatches sometimes, or even on some sedans and SUVs. This has been designed so that the airflow is kind of tapered off once it's going over the panoramic roof, so that it's not just flicking off at the back and losing a lot of its aerodynamic efficiency, which is really, really cool. So it flows down through there and everywhere else. So if you want to have a look at it, Rivian might have a video. If we can find a video of that in action, we'll share it with you. But it is a really cool feature. The back windscreen's also curved, so it just kind of gives it a nice different kind of feel and vibe to this particular ute, which is something I actually really, really enjoy. Lastly, down here you have these tie-down points. Now these tie-down points are also compatible with the Rivian roof rack system. The roof racks can go horizontally across the tub. They can then unclip from there and you can clip them onto the roof should you need to carry anything on the roof. So you can put a rooftop tent on the top. Rivian actually sells their own rooftop tent to go with this car. And you can easily unclip and clip down the bottom here if you need to change on the go of where you need your actual load to go. On top of that, we'll go around to the other side and I'll actually show you that it has an electric rolling cover as an option. This particular one has been fitted with it, so I'll show you that. You can also opt for a manual one, or you can just get a naked tub that has nothing on top. So let's have a look. So all you do is press this, cover comes out. You can stop it anywhere along the axis of where it rolls, and then you can obviously roll it back in. A couple of cool features as well. Once you open the tub drops down. And once that tub's dropped down, you do get these bed lights on both sides, which is a super handy feature to have. That will allow you to basically see if you're loading anything at night in the dark. And I think it's a really nice, neat standard inclusion that Rivian has added to this car. Down the bottom here, you do have this latch that stores your full-size tire if you option it up. I think the option from memory is about 800 US. I thought that was actually kind of rather weird, and the reason for it is this is an off-road truck and it's been designed to go off-road and to go on adventures. You're going to need a spare tire. So I think it's just another way for Rivian to kind of just add to the expenses rather than to actually deliver a really good value for money car in the areas where it matters. That being said, the rest of the car is really good value in how it's been kitted up for a full electric car. So take that as however you want. But Rivian, if you're watching this, I think you should actually have a full-size spare tire as a standard feature on this vehicle, regardless of which option you go. Right now, there's just a tire repair kit, which is only good for a temporary fix. And if you're out in the middle of nowhere and you puncture it on a rock or on a stick on one of the trails, you're kind of stuffed, and the tires aren't easily available in that size and spec as well. But it makes for great storage for anything else. If you need to, if you go out and you need to fill it up with ice and chuck any brews or drinks in, or any food, you can have it all stored in there as well, and there's a drain plug underneath for you to pull that out so that it can empty out any water. Once that's closed down, which you actually need to slam with quite a bit of force, you have this section here. Now, because of the curved design of the back area, it actually has a bit more of a bigger gap than you normally would. So usually you'd get it finishing here. This would kind of finish a little bit closer because it's a squared off design. But with Rivian, they've actually done a curved off design. So they've got this little lid that actually extends the whole way through here. This is really good because a lot of people with normal utes end up having a lot of loose debris that kind of falls in that gap that you then have to keep an eye out, wash, or if it's rocks and you're loading gravel and that kind of stuff, you got to then hose it out before you open up the tub. So it's a really cool little inclusion. It's just the attention to detail in some of the small areas is what I'm actually really enjoying about this truck. So while I criticize the spare tire, there is a lot to love about this ute. On the rear, pretty bold design. That tail light system, same as the front. Once you unlock the car or once it's running, it does have this daytime running light that goes the whole way across, which looks really awesome. Big bold Rivian letters. They want you to know that it's a Rivian, and obviously rear parking assist as well as a rear camera as well for when you're reversing. So they've covered everything off in this car and it's great. Come around. All right, so one of the things I really like about Rivian is build quality on this car is phenomenal. So out of all the electric vehicles I've driven, and even a lot of mainstream established brands, they have knocked it out of the park when it comes to quality. Soft touch materials at the top, soft touch materials down here, soft touch materials there, soft touch at the bottom. This is a nice little felt fabric scenario. Usually these panels here are all like a harsh plastic with a lot of brands. So when you're getting in and out of the truck or in and out of any car, you end up with a lot of damage and scratches and dirt and everything all there. Whereas this is just premium, it's just fantastic. Nice little highlight across the side here, and obviously your hidden door handle here. Interesting to note, this car doesn't actually have any manual lock releases. everything's digital, so you will just have to flick that open a couple of times if someone's getting out and you're not back in park. If you set it in park, it will automatically open up. You do have this beautiful wood grain down here as well. Now this is real wood, and it comes in a variety of different colors. This particular car is fitted with the darker option, so the darker interior just looks so much nicer and really classy. But massive, massive, massive shout out to the team at Rivian that designed this interior and the door. It is the best quality I have seen outside of the very premium market segments out there. So, and when I say premium markets, I'm talking about Maserati, I'm talking about Ferrari, Lamborghini, Rolls-Royce, Bentley. They're the only ones that are probably at the same level of quality. Everyone else is using harsh plastics down the bottom, real subpar materials here, including the established European brands that most people associate with luxury, and some of the luxury Japanese players as well. So you will not be disappointed on build quality with the Rivian. That's the one thing that's really impressed me for a company that's only just started delivering cars, and this is their first go. So let's have a look at the inside. All right, so moving on to the interior of the Rivian. Once again, this is just an impressive interior. Yes, there's going to be a lot of people that go, oh, they're copying Tesla or they're trying to do a Tesla. I gotta be honest, I actually prefer this because it has an actual real heads-up display or information display for the driver just here. Not a heads-up display, I used the wrong terminology. So when I'm driving, I don't have to look over here and be distracted. I don't have to touch this to do everything that I can do up here. So this will tell me what gear I'm in, it will tell me my range, it will tell me anything that's going on with traffic. So if there's cars in front of me, it's picking them up, it will show it all here. Give me satellite navigation directions if I have it set on here. So all the vitals are all here where they should be and where it is easy to use. So the one thing is, if you got rid of that, you could have a heads-up display, and that's probably what Tesla should be doing. But hats off to the guys at Rivian for designing a really nice interior and cockpit layout. This is a monstrous screen. It does everything and anything. We'll go into that detail a little bit more, but it's where you control everything about this car. One thing I don't like too much about this car is everything is digital in terms of buttons. It needs a couple of more buttons to make operation a little bit easier and more kind of natural, so then that way you're not having to take your eyes off the road to work out what's happening over here. And to be able to do a few of those features on the move rather than having to like pull over and actually function them here. So on the right hand side, you've got a stalk that will do your park, your neutral, your reverse, and your drive. So your gear selection is done there. Tapping it down again a second time will set your cruise control. On the left hand side, you have your windscreen wiper functions as well as your indicators. And the indicators have a really unique sound. I'll play it now. Hopefully you'll be able to hear it. If you can't, I'll describe it to you in a sec. So if you heard that, it basically is like, think of a drop of water hitting the top of a tent or the top of the roof just over and over and over. Look, it might give you, some PTSD if you've ever been, waterboarded before. But in that sense, it's just a bizarre, different sound for an indicator. So I'm not really sure what they were going for there. The wood grain continues across the full scope of the interior, and it is, once again, it's just fantastic and stunning. Hopefully you can see some of the detail in it. You've got the Rivian branding on the actual wood, and it's been etched in. You then have some premium highlights on the actual central section there, and the speaker system, and then you also have a kind of a aluminium insert as well that runs across. All soft touch materials on the top of the dash, all soft touch down the bottom of the dash. And with this system as well, we'll show you what we mean with the air conditioning vents. I think there needs to be a realignment of exactly where the air conditioning vents sit, particularly the driver seating position. Steering wheel is fully electric. It is commanded and controlled through here, so that is one thing that you will have to get used to. The good thing is you're only setting your steering wheel once, so it's not like you're going to be moving it every single trip. Unless you're sharing this car, then I lie. And on here is your normal standard controls. So any audio controls, skipping to the next track, and then whatever you want to program this particular dial to do will be done here. And you have all your wood grain inserts again down through here. Material is a soft touch, nice vegan leather, which is just fake leather. Like, let's be real, there's nothing, real about it, so I call it leather. But it's very premium material. It doesn't feel cheap, and it doesn't feel like it's too soft and that it's going to flake off after being in the sun for too long. This feels every bit of premium that you could imagine, especially for the price point. They've done a fantastic job. So with the interior panel system here, this is your full interior command center. It's mission control, it's whatever you want to name it, that's what it is. So you've got a number of different features. So you can have it an all-purpose, or basically just driving around for all sorts of weather conditions and just day-to-day drives and adventures. It can let you tailor the ride of the car from soft or stiff, because this is fitted with the air suspension system. You can change your brake regen setting to have a high brake regeneration efficiency, or just the standard. Standard feels a little bit more like normal cars. It does have one pedal operation, so basically means the minute you take your foot off the accelerator, it does start slowing down really, really quickly. The system actually works really, really well. It's probably one of the better one pedal systems I've actually used, and it makes it really easy to judge how long you need to take your foot off the accelerator in order to stop at where you're trying to stop. So great job by the team there. Stability control can be turned on, reduced, or everything else in between through this system when you're on sports mode and any of the other modes. And ride height, so you can actually raise or lower the ride height anywhere from 8 to 15 inches depending on where you're going. So you can go the lowest depending on the standard situation. And it will automatically lower the ride height in order to gain better efficiency as well on your battery, because this is an electric vehicle. Sports mode will lower the ride height. It will then allow you to kind of get up and go at the fastest amount of pace and speed that you want. Conserve will just change this up a little bit. So you're going to have all these settings here, and it will stick to standard ride height. It won't allow you to go too low. It won't allow you to go highest. Will allow you to go to the lowest setting, however, which turns it into almost like an oversized sedan or smaller SUV in terms of ride height, which gives you some really good fuel efficiency there. Off-road will actually raise it to its highest level of 15 inches, which will then allow you to have as much fun when you're going off-road. And towing mode will change a few different things there in order to allow you to go into towing mode. So we'll go back to all-purpose. All your music controls and everything are all through here. Any car-based information is here. So right now you can see that we have 132 miles remaining on 49% battery charge. You can program your set charge and set your charge limit. So if you want to have just daily top-ups, you can set it to a 70% max recharge, which will give you the best battery health. You can have extended drives, which will be 85% top-ups. These are also your best recharge times as well. Or if you are going on a long trip, you can do a full 100% recharge. They do take a little bit longer because the 80 to 100% part of the charging cycle is the most time consuming out of the whole cycle. And you can choose to turn on or off your 12 volt, your 120 volt outlets. Now these are located around the car. They're basically your standard American household plugs that will allow you to plug in all sorts of household equipment to be powered in the car. It allows you to also have control of everything else in the car. So you can open the charging point, you can come up to this section, you can open the front through here. You can then do your gear tunnel opening, which is that long tunnel that we showed you earlier. You can close the cover in the back, you can open the tailgate, fold the mirrors, adjust the steering wheel and mirrors, and lock and unlock passenger windows. And you can also set whether you want your gear guard video system active. Down the bottom here, you can control all your lights from the cabin, outside, inside, everything else through here. You can turn on some accent lighting as well, which will just do some featured highlights on the doors and everything through there. And down the bottom here, you can control your trips. So it will give you trip A and trip B. Now, in a few other vehicle reviews that some other reviewers have done, they do mention that there is no trip computer, and it's you having to rely on the odometer reading in order to work out how much mileage or drive you've done out of that particular trip. So it's good to see that Rivian has done an over-the-air update in order to update that so that you do have your trip computer settings, which is fantastic. The car will also give you all the data and information on exactly how this car's fitted out, VIN number, engine number, or not engine number, but battery type, I should say. As you can see, we're still trying to adjust to the transition, but everything is in here, and the command center is really crystal clear. All your map system is all through here as well, so once again, real clear and real functional, and the air conditioning controls are all through here. So if you want to cool or heat or anything that you want to do, it's all located through here. And all you need to do is just adjust the position of where these are going slightly to make sure that you get the most optimal air where you want it to go. That's all controlled that way. If you want some feet, you just press the feet one, or you turn it off. If you want the car to work out what you do, or if you want recirced air. It has heated and ventilated seats as an option in this particular car, so you can control that through here as well. And you can also control your heated steering wheel for those colder climates as well. If you want to control the rear seats, you can also do that climate here. There is a touch panel in the back, which we'll go through in a sec, that will allow you to control all of those in the rear as well. So let's move on to what the overall build quality is for the rest of the front seating. All right, so what's the interior quality like? Well, from a movement test, pretty solid, no rattles, no nothing. It just makes no noise. So once again, really exceptional build quality on here. You have this little section here that opens up, and that just has a little bit of storage. You do have this little port here, which you can kind of stick your phone in there and it will kind of hold it up. And a little flat section just here. What's really cool about this is the pattern is actually the Rivian logo. So it's just dotted with the Rivian logo all throughout. Cup holders down here. Your portable Bluetooth system and speaker is just here, which is probably the coolest function about this car. So if you're going down to the beach, maybe the lake, whatever, you can just take your speaker with you and actually have a little bit of music and some nice beats, and the speaker quality is actually fantastic. This car as well has been fitted with the Meridian audio system in here, and quality is phenomenal. So once again, fantastic job there. A lot of storage down here because, well, you can, and being electric, it has no gear tunnel or anything, so there's plenty of space here, and when we go to the back, we'll show you how much space there is there. Other thing I really like with Rivian is they've put these rubber mats on the inside here, which allows you to kind of chuck whatever you need in there without worrying about, you know, getting mud or muck or snow or anything on there. Maybe you've got some gloves in winter and you're chucking them down. You're going to be able to chuck those down and just pull that little tray out and clear that out. And the seating is just beautiful. It's really well bolstered, real supportive. Once again, these are performance car seats in a standard, you know, truck or ute. So once again, quality is amazing. These have been upgraded to the perforated vegan leather, which allows it to have the heated and ventilated seats, which is once again a really good option. So love that there. And of course you have this beautiful big panoramic glass roof at the top that has everything you need. All right, so moving into the rear, that premium build quality and premium fit out for the doors continues. So all the same features as the video we did on the front, but just looks beautiful and just looks premium. So it's a car that you just would love to get into each and every time, and you wouldn't feel like you spent a lot of money for no reason. So from a value point for an electric car, like, it's pretty hard to go past, I gotta be really honest with you. So definitely great value. Seating. The front seat is positioned the whole way back. My buddy's just over 6 foot and he was sitting in the front there, so he was comfortable. I'm 5'10". I've got plenty of leg room and knee room just behind this seat, the way that that's been set. It has some cool little touches here so that you can put maps, whatever you need to in there, and a little grab handle if you need it. And these carabiner type hooks allow you to undo this if you need to. So if you want to undo that and undo this side, you can actually get a little bit more travel should you need a little bit more on your way. Outside of that, at the top you do have a jacket or coat hook as well on the back of each seat, and they do have half of a Rivian kind of logo on there, which is really nice. And the quality again of these seats, like, I know I'm saying it, you're probably getting sick of me talking about the quality on the seats, but I just can't get over how great this interior is and how massive of an improvement it is over every EV that's out there at the moment. and just what a wonderful job Rivian has actually done with the quality of this. At this point, because of how much I've harped on about Rivian, I will actually point out as well, we had to rent this car from a third party. It's cost us $600 to have it for the day so that we can bring this review to you, because Rivian wouldn't return our calls or emails in order to get a car from Rivian to review. So it's definitely not sponsored by Rivian. And if Rivian is watching, return our calls. We want to talk about your car. Our viewers want to hear about your car. And we're Australian, so everyone wants to know about four-wheel drives. So definitely get in touch with us. And hopefully you see this video and realize that we want to talk about your car. So that's that part there. It does remind me really of just these high-end premium sports cars on the interior. So make sure you go have a look at a Rivian when you get a chance, if you are considering one, because it will blow you out of the water. Moving along a little bit more to the inside, ISOFIX points, if you need to secure any baby seats, are located on both of the outer door seats. So you can put that baby capsule in here and have plenty of space for whatever you need to do just there. And as you move to the center section, you will have all your controls for your climate settings here, as well as a couple of USB-C fast charging ports as well, which come in really, really handy. And a center console lid that has your cup holders, a little bit of storage, and it actually has a roller shelf down here that will allow you to feed your arm the whole way through into that gear tunnel should you need to grab something out. So if you want to keep some snacks or whatever hidden in there for long road trips and have your kids in the back, maybe they're obviously when they're a little bit older and not in child seats, they'll be able to just reach in there and grab some snacks. Or maybe you're in the back with your buddies and you're going on a trip, going to be real sorted just there. Or cold water, because that's what you drink on long drives with your buddies. That's what's going to be in there as well. In the center, you do have an overhead child seat anchor point as well. You do have them across the back 3 seats, so you can put a booster seat in the front, in the middle here. You just wouldn't be able to put a full baby capsule in the middle here as well. And one of the other things that you can see is these grab handles. They do carry that leather-like type material, but the inner side is more of a hardier material. So you do have the grab handles the whole way through. You have some speaker systems the whole way around this cabin, even at the back here. So you get some really crisp, real clear audio, and that is just one of the things I really love about this car. And finally, with these seats down here, they lift up. So you can actually store whatever you need to store down here. Obviously the Meridian audio system part is just through here, and they'll allow you just to do whatever you need to do in the back. So if I lift these up, there's actually plenty of storage, and as you can see, I'm actually almost fully standing up on the inside, so headroom's not going to be too much of an issue if you are a little bit taller and need a little bit of space. That is what is really good about the design of this car. So that's really where we're at. So there you have it, guys. That's what we think of the Rivian R1T. It is a car that I would absolutely love to see in Australia. Yes, there'll be some of you that will go, you can't cross the Simpson Desert, you can't cross this, you can't cross that. But you know what, for the way that most Australians use their four-wheel drives and their utes, you're gonna be able to go to most places, have a ton of fun, and get back after a day out. And obviously the electrical infrastructure is changing and improving each and every month. There's new rollouts going out everywhere, so you're gonna have a little bit of comfort there. So for an American, the infrastructure and network is great here. And even just as an around town car to save on tax and save on a whole bunch of other stuff, this is gonna be a great option. Being fully electric, you save on fuel, gas, diesel, whatever you wanna call it. And obviously a lot of practicality for people that maybe wanna, move furniture, move whatever they need to on a day-to-day basis, as well as, just be able to have fun, move trail bikes, quads, whatever. As you can see as well, the gear tunnel side of things, it's pretty practical. It's designed to carry some weight. So I'm sitting on it, I was standing on it before. And lastly, get out and have a drive of the car. Book a test drive experience, as they call it on the website. Rivian will organize this for you and as they move around on their traveling roadshow for test drives. They are at a number of different auto shows. So if you're going to any auto show soon, you'll probably be able to see one there. And just overall, guys, I'm really, really impressed with this car. I can't stop talking about it because it's just been really, really good in how it's been built, how it's been kitted out. The build quality is fantastic. The features and small little thoughts around how this car is likely to be used is phenomenal. So there's just nothing about this car, other than a couple of small things I've pointed out around the review, that really require any massive improvement or any massive significance. Even the paintwork is of a high quality compared to a lot of other electric cars out there. For the price, this starts from about $67,000 plus taxes, goes all the way up to about 90 to 100, depending on exactly what it is that you chuck on the car, whether it's a rooftop tent and some of the other accessories. So you can get up there in price as you kit it out, but it's still fantastic value. For what it does and what it can do, such good value. So that's what an Australian thinks of this truck in America. Stay tuned for the next review that we do, most likely back in Australia. We will be covering a number of other cars while we are here, so make sure you check out our channels either before or after this video to see what else we've done. And any questions, leave them in the comments. Make sure you subscribe to keep up to the latest dates of new reviews that we're doing, and to help us get cars for us to review, particularly from companies like Rivian that don't want to return our calls. So stay up to date. I'll leave you with that. This Aussie says, yes, do it, get one.